Hey friends, welcome to Moxie Gardens. I'm Mike Toomey, and today we got so much to do. It's gonna be a fun little pocket back there. Only got a few hours to do it, so we might bleed into Saturday, but I think most of it's gonna get done today. Let's see, we've got lights to hang, we've got holes to drill, we've got soil to lay down, we've got lanterns to bring in. We're gonna hang some moss. We're going to, we've got so much going on back there. Got some tricycle and bikes to pull out from other parts of the garden back here and get in there where we've kind of lost it throughout the seasons. Oh gosh, I cannot wait to just get this Whimsy going and just create something really cool back there in the bayou. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys kind of like follow the process. It's fun to follow how we're gonna do this, but we're gonna be doing so much. We got soil lay around that swing set, got hostas to transplant. There's just gonna be a lot of things that we're gonna get done, and we're gonna get done in a short period of time, so there won't be a whole lot of talking. Lucky you. We'll just kind of get in there, get it done, and see how the day unfolds. We might have to bleed into another day. That's okay though. That's what we're doing. So let's head back to the bayou. Bayou, that's so funny. A few minor tweaks.
They're probably gonna adjust. Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna say I saw it tighten up, but.
Okay guys, as usual, you know I like my tricycles and bikes. I have some bikes. Yeah, I got to get that trimmed up. I got some bikes. We're gonna add to this little play area right here. And we'll go into what I think it's gonna represent here in a little bit. So let's go dig out these bikes real quick. We are raining in the sunshine, check it out. I love when it does that. So you know we've got tricycles and bikes parked all through the garden. Yesterday we came over and got our little heater and put it in the garden. Can you see the bike if I stop right here? Anywhere? Yeah, it's right under here. We took that back when it used to be exposed, and now Mother Nature's ate it up. So we're gonna take this little tricycle, pan back. Look at this. It's the rusty, perfect little piece. So we've got this tricycle, and we got another tricycle. No, not a tricycle, a bike. Ah, just kidding, I ain't getting that one. But I do have one that's hid back in our area where we keep all the exposable things for right now, my little graveyard as I call it. Because I got a project coming in the future that's going to absorb this whole area. Look, right back there, Mother Nature ate it up too. So we're gonna dig it out and we're gonna take it over there and add a little bit more rust and character to our little garden over there. Okay friends, I got too giddy. I couldn't even wait to get it back there. And plus, I thought if I set it right here on our little pathway, it'll kind of give you guys an idea of what it looks like before we start kind of tucking them in. I picked this up at Pittsburgh, Kansas, when my kids were going to college. And I just stopped along a antique store, picked it up, and I said, I know. The family's like, why do you want that old thing? Gosh, the stories though. Okay, we're gonna take this one, the other one, we're gonna take them to the back, get them in there. Gosh, this is adorable. I think it's gonna be awesome. Okay, friends, I kind of waited a little bit so you could see the lights light up back there. I thought that would be a charming little fit to what we're doing here. We're not 100% complete. However, we're moving in the right direction. The gate has a little bit more paint on it. I recruited Jessie. She came out and helped me a little bit. Running a couple paint brushes just to try to wrap it up. Not for the video, but just kind of want to wrap this color up. This is going to look so nice through here. Look at the colors. Look at the colors play so well with this. I want to go through and paint the tips green, the same green on the door. But look at this. Isn't this fun? Oh my gosh. We really went with the Whimsy. We really just getting it going now. This is where I fit in. This is my style. I like doing this type of stuff. So right here you see we just have little pockets of love all throughout. We're gonna add some periwinkle in some of these dead spots or something. When I said dead spots, just some of these spots that we don't have anything. We've got a kind of a reddish color tone to this rock right here. And then we have some lanterns. Ironically, I bought these in 2 different towns and they ended up being the same thing. I wasn't even doing that, but this one's missing a glass. I guess that lends its hand to the story. And then this one here, I had some solar panel lights in there until the squirrels ate the solar plate off of it. So now I don't have that. We're still going to work on this. We're still trying to figure this out. You guys have a lot of input on that little lip right there. I think we're just going to go ahead and cut it and make it right. Safety issues apart, and then just call it good. You can see here where we ran our lights. I think our lights really add the charm to this little area. And then you can see we've added Spanish moss throughout. So I've got it hanging off in certain spots. One of the things I didn't share with you on hanging of the Spanish moss is that I put little pieces of wire around the lights, the moss that's around the lights, just so that we wouldn't have to worry about that blowing away. I really want the garden just to kind of stay the same way it is. Obviously, if we had some type of crazy storms come through here, I might have to replace it. Also here, this is the connector. So those where the 2 lines meet up. You can see here we added the periwinkle in several spots. I got a good batch of it on both sides, flanking both sides. We'll end up, I probably planted too heavy. Those of you who have this stuff will say, yeah, you definitely did. But again, I push the limits so that we can get results quicker than your typical if you just kind of space stuff out. So I plant heavy. We also put Spanish moss in different spots in the trees and whatnot, and just kind of clamped them in there. They kind of get stuck. So wherever it got stuck, whenever I brushed it against her, that's kind of where we kept it. Eventually that window back there won't stand out as much as it stands out right now. We did plant the honeysuckle on here. It's going to grow over and it'll mound over the years onto that cedar post right there. I think it'll turn out really nice. Soften that edge. I still have to keep some distance back there. I don't want to focus on the window too much, but I still have to keep distance back there in case of an emergency or some reason that we needed to get out of that window. So there's plenty of space. I know sometimes depth in videos can be offsetting and kind of confusing a little bit, but there's enough space back there. Same way with if somebody needed to get to the HVAC back there, we've got enough space. Let's just kind of continue to make our way. Like I said, we still got some things to do. I am going to come back here and weather this wood up a little bit. It's all just little details that take some time, so we can put this together in kind of a rushing attempt. But what we do lack is the timing. So in order to keep you guys watching the video, I don't want to waste so much time, and plus I need to have enough content in the video to keep you entertained. Otherwise, if I'm spending too much time getting that prep down there, I'm not able to do the other things. So we'll come back and we'll prep this pathway and age it a little bit. I did take some soil and rubbed it on there just to see if it would kind of soften it up, and I think it did the job. We've got blue stones. I went with the blue stones. If you've missed any of that content, what we did was I wanted to get away from the more natural colors, the earth tones, because I wanted it to stand out. I've got enough earth tone color in here, and then with the plants and whatnot. So I wanted to really capture some color in the stones that we use. So we've got the red stone behind me, and then we've got these blue stones that kind of just dot the landscape right through here. We've got several of them, and I think that'll do the job. So once the periwinkle softens up all the soil that you can see in the video, the darker spot, and really starts to kind of take over. I think this will just be, it'll feel almost like you're in the marsh. We keep calling this the Bayou. I think that's a fun little thing that we're doing here. So if you just continue that imagination and in that theme, once this kind of goes in there, the periwinkle just really fills in all the blank spaces. This will be so much fun. And I'm not even worried about like the little blue flowers that last a couple weeks. They're fine, but I think overall it's just having projects complete and done. We're just going to kind of continue to make our way through here. We'll get over to there. Actually, let me get over there now because I am worried that the lighting on this project may not come through so well. But I really wanted to emphasize the charm of these wires here. Okay, so again, we just continue to use the Spanish moss throughout. Let me zoom in a little bit. And we hung up the lantern. It's personal choice, right? I can have it down there. I can have it hung up. It's fine. Thank you guys for the answer on the stove there. I didn't know exactly what it was actually called, but this is the only artificial things that we have. So a little bit of moss here, some right there. I think it just really softens it up. I really like it. I think it's so freaking charming. And then our little deck here. Who would have thought, right? So this is just a corner piece. If you've missed any of the content, this is not a through. There's not a through gate here. So there's only basically where I'm at. You're going to stop. You can't go any further. If you're here to work on the HVAC, there is a gap back there. But basically, some of you guys had inquired, kind of fed off of one individual, and then you just kind of commented with that same individual concerns about cutting yourself on the tin. Guys, you can't get back there. And that's why I'm telling you the depth, whatnot, you can't even get back there. Even if you're, that's probably about 5.5 feet up in the air from the hole down there. So you would definitely have to be 5 foot or taller to even make it back there and make any kind of contact back there. So that gives you kind of some perspective. So, but there's the HVAC person can get back there, but that's a fence back there. On the opposite side of that fence is our doggy pad. So this is a dead end, essentially. Again, lights just kind of hung through here. Do the lights actually make sense back here? Maybe, maybe not, but I thought it was fun to kind of brighten the space up. So there you go. I've got the tin roof on top. We can lift you up here. So I've got the tin roof. We've got some trumpet vine that's growing on it. Trumpet vine, super invasive. You've been following me for any length of time. It's prevalent throughout the neighborhoods. I just use it to my advantage. We pull it out everywhere, but essentially no matter what I do, it's going to continue to grow in the garden. So I just kind of, in certain spots, I just use it. So just go with the punches, I suppose. But very invasive. I wouldn't transplant it to your area, or your neighbors might not like you. We did saw up a bunch of the different posts in the last couple videos, and someone might mention, hey, that's a little bit offset. It's fine. That's what I wanted. I didn't want it to be perfect. Sometimes imperfection is perfect, if that makes sense. And then the reason why, I don't know if I commented, the reason why I did this deck or this pathway the way I did is because in my mind, I'm just thinking, hey, you're out in the swamp, not in the bayou. You're doing. If you look up Japanese gardens, they typically lay them on top. They're not cut flush. If you just kind of look at that, it's just kind of an easy way of doing it. And I just thought that's probably the way the story unfolded for me, and that's why I did that like that. But we're gonna get it cleaned up. I don't even know why I revisited that. We're gonna get it cleaned up because you're right. Even if I didn't have any visitors, the day that I have grandbabies could make the difference between a busted lip and not. So we'll get that cleaned up. The awning is probably my favorite part. I love the deck, but I love the little awning right there. Again, we just stole parts from our little outhouse that was over here. I think it turned out great. Then we're going to move over here. This is probably another one. Honestly, they're all my favorite parts, but if you recall, we had hydrangeas. We had hostas kind of blocking here because this spot right here is where our outhouse sat. So we just dug them out, kind of put them in different spots. Then I built the swing. Oh, the charm of the swing. I sat in there and then off of camera, just kind of sat there and just kind of appreciate what we've got going on here. I really tried to emphasize that this is all old. So if you look here, we use the weather of it. That's why I've got 2 boards there to really hold. It's gonna hold somebody. I'm almost 200 pounds and it held me without a problem. So again, that's not a swing set that you're going to go and loft yourself to the back and then back forward. That's not that. This is one of those things where you come out here and daydream. So I can imagine my grandchildren or any children that wanted to kind of look at the garden sitting there, even my wife, and just kind of letting this, all the whimsy here, maybe create the story. It's like reading a book back here, I suppose. We carried the periwinkle throughout. Again, this is going to take hold. I can almost imagine it just spreading and taking off back there. This is actually a piece of metal back here. I made a little birdhouses last year and I've got them dotted throughout the landscape. I thought it'd be fitting to sit right here. It might be not pronounced so much in the video right there because it is darker, but it's just a little birdhouse. It's just something I just decided to do. And then let's talk about our tricycles. You know, I'm a fan of bikes and tricycles. This is so much fun. So it's kind of a set it and forget it. Honestly, it's already rusted. The patina's there. I'm gonna set it in there. The hostas over the years are just gonna romance this space. There's a rhododendron right here. You can imagine it'll be a good photo op one day whenever it's, or next season, early spring when it's blooming. And then if you can imagine that road's gonna kind of take up over here. The fence that's right there, I tell you, it's almost 5. It's a little over 5 feet. So it's right even with our awning over there, so you can see that. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna do something here because I need it to blend all the way through here so I can block out. You can see the neighbor's ladder and stuff. So we've got a fairy tale. Oh, and guess what? You can see a rabbit, right? Because everybody has freaking rabbits right now just chewing up gardens. But still cute nonetheless. So we're going to go back here and I'm going to kind of try to reimagine that space just to get rid of the neighbors. Not because there's anything wrong with them, but it's hard to come down here and tell you a fairy tale story and allow your mind to kind of take you wherever you would like. And then, oh, by the way, hey, your ladder's over there. You know, how's the neighbors? Hey, you know, so I want to pull back from there and I want every nook to be as perfect as possible in my head. So we've got a ton of growth all the way through here. I think if I can figure out something that fits this story, that has that theme, I think it'll be perfect. So when we're doing different things throughout the garden, especially like in the backyard, we've got so much going on back there that just because we put something in today doesn't mean that's the final product. I'm always pushing the envelope on these things, and so I think I can almost get carried away too much, and it is what it is. I did mention that we added these bikes, right? Well, then I added the moss to it as well. I just think it gives it helps feed the imagination. So that's what we're doing here. And then you can see here I ran one little arm of the honeysuckle into there. And so again, once this space fills up and once it starts mounting and really takes off, it's going to kind of tuck in and own that bike for a little bit. There were a couple parts of the idea on the bike. So one of the things I was wondering, do I park it here and soften up that space? So did an individual park that bike there for the very last time, go off, and now, you know, Mother Nature, it belongs to Mother Nature. So when creating the story, I suppose. So is that bike just left there because whoever parked it there went into the bayou and now they're gone, right? So that's how I come up with these things. Another part of the story was, do I take this bike, pan you around ever so softly here, so you can look at the back side of the gate that's not painted, and do I, you know, because we're going to continue our development over there and add a bunch of hostas and Nandina and different things that are going to be okay with the shade that's over there. So it's real soft as you walk in here. And so that's do I leave the bike there so whoever walked through that gate? So what's the story on the gate? Basically, once you get to that gate, the mind starts to tell you what the story is, right? So did somebody drop that bike there, walk through the gate, and now you're in a storybook back here? I know this is crazy, but you wonder where my mind comes from and what I'm thinking. This is how it evolves. So did you drop the bike there, walk through the gate, and now, you're in Narnia? I don't even know if I'm legally allowed to say that, but yeah, that's where my mind kind of leads to. So I'm close. I'm close to button this up. I'm really close. If you're wondering, I will tell you this. If you're wondering how to kind of dive in to what we're doing here with no comments from me, and you just want to kind of get wrapped up in the story, go to my Instagram. And sometimes I'm doing a lot better job of shorts on YouTube. I did post 1 or 2 songs, just traditional songs that you would hear on the radio, and it kind of got lost in the shuffle. But if you're wondering how this plays out in my mind, go to our Instagram at Moxie_Gardens, or you can watch some of our shorts from past. I use a particular type of sound or music that kind of draws you in to this little fairy tale that we're creating here. So this little dwelling right here would probably, I'm thinking banjos and that type of stuff. Or if you're thinking hobbits, you can think of, whatever. And so I'll put the music to that. And so if you just wanted to tune my voice out and tune off the sounds of kids in the background and the trains and whatnot, go to our Instagram, or go to some of my reels. I'll be linking this one up pretty soon. I'm gonna do something with this. I wanted to get that gate finalized before I was completely done, before I started to kind of share this on our Instagram page. But this is just absolutely gorgeous. So if I was to say how much more is left, I definitely want to imagine something back there. That's not a necessity today. Tomorrow I might dot in some more periwinkle in some of these spots around me. Let's see. I was thinking, because of the purple gate, I was thinking if it's still early enough in the season. I thought we were going to get in some high temperatures for a while, but we cooled off a little bit now, so I could probably get another month, maybe. You know what? Maybe it doesn't even have to be cold weather or early spring weather type plants. But I'm thinking I want something to play off of the purples, yellows, golds, that type of color, that chartreuse color, and something with flowers, something nice to just maybe just dot something in the landscape here, not in the ground. I don't want to put anything else in the ground because I do want the periwinkle to just own the space, and that's it. But I do have like a little wicker basket back there that I can set a planter in, and that's what I'm thinking. Planters. Maybe I set a small one up on the deck up there. We'll come up with something, but I thought it just a little touch of color, just a small touch of color to play off of the gate behind me, and maybe some of the red and yellow and green that's up on the deck, but or on that little dwelling there. So anyway, that's kind of the story. Oh, and then like I said, pan you around here. I apologize for the quick movement, but I did when I was digging this hole, I did run into our sprinkler line, so I just need to replace this little piece. That's why this didn't get done. I had plenty enough time to get it done. I just did not get it done. So I need to dig this stone into the ground right there, and then I need to finish up around here where our cardboard is, to suppress the lawn so that I don't have to worry about that coming up through our soil. But yeah, this is kind of where I was thinking that once I start digging this up, I still have time. So if I start getting some plants in here and I just leave a bike parked right there, does that tell the mind, hey, what happened here? You can tell your own self. Somebody went through this gate and it's rusted out, so it's been there forever. Just like that gate over there, or that bike over there. So if you're wondering where I go to find this type of inspiration or this craziness in my head, just think of my youth and that type of stuff, and some of the things that when you're little, you're putting Legos and different things together and your mind takes you places. That's kind of where we're at. But isn't this fun? I think it turned out well. We'll take one more lap down there without me visiting, and we will see you guys on the flip side. Bye-bye now.